people that have spent a lot of time around my mom and dad over these last 40 years. Kind of a collection of memories, if you will, from individuals that have helped grow the business and kind of get us to where we are today.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road.
I started April 3rd, 1978 as the salesman for the Iowa territory. We only had 2 salesmen at the time. One covered Illinois, one covered Iowa, and I was the Iowa guy. When we would travel together, when I first started, every company that we drove by, he'd always say, they use tons of tape and staples. Not that they used anything else, it was just they use tons of tape and staples. They use tons of tape and staples. And it was just kind of his catchphrase, and then one that most of us know is, do me a favor, go sell something.
I started Grupo in 1988, approximately 2 or 3 days after my high school graduation. And my first job at Grupo was to work for Kim Fox in data entry. I recall being very new to Grupo, and I believe it was Bob Ontiveros' 50th birthday celebration, and some friends of his wheeled in a commode on wheels. So we had a toilet on wheels in the office, and I thought, wow, these folks have a great sense of humor, and I'm going to look forward to working with them for a long time. Bob is most famous for knowing so many people. He's an excellent salesperson because he remembers names and faces. And internally, he's probably most famous for the phrases, do me a favor and sell something, and more originally, in my experience at Bi-State, did we invoice today?
Congratulations, Bob and Blenda, on the 40th anniversary of Grupo. It was 21 years ago when I met Bob, Greg, and Chris down at the Dock Restaurant in Davenport to apply for a position with Grupo. The next 21 years have been enjoyable, exciting, and challenging, and I want to thank you for letting me be a part of the Grupo family. Best wishes to you all.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson.
I started at actually Bi-State Packaging back in 1986, and I worked in the warehouse. You know, some of the longtime people, they've remained the same. You still have the same mentality, the same drive and camaraderie. It's still there. Bob is just so personable. He can get along with anybody. You take him into a sales call, and it's like you just walk out with the order. Sell something. That's what Bob always used. It still does tell us.
I think Bob is most famous for how he's grown a business where the legend is that he started the business packaging solutions out of the trunk of his car, and today he supplies services to some of the major corporations and businesses.
Dottie's father had recommended me for a position, so Dottie interviewed me, and it took her about a week to decide, but I was selected for the position. I want to say there were probably about 30 employees. I will say that one of the memorable moments was when we hit our first $1 million in 1 month in sales, and it was a big deal for everybody, so that was really cool. Nothing gets done until something gets sold.
I started at Grupo in 1996, August 1st, so I have just a little over 18 years with the company. There was a Christmas party where Bob and Blenda were not able to attend. I don't recall why. Maybe they were just having too much fun in Florida, but Ultimately, we had some little Gumby figure things that we put photos of Bob and Blenda's face in them, and so we carted Bob and Blenda all around the Christmas party, and we took photos of them, and including trips to the restroom. So it was kind of a fun deal.
I started with Group O in 1988, right out of high school, and I was the receptionist at the Bi-State Packaging Building. I was like the only female in that office to start with, along with Dottie, Mark Bowman, Richard. I couldn't even tell you how many people were there then. Okay. Very small.
Okay.
Started in 1986, and I originally started at the original Bi-State Packaging. I do have some confessions to make to Bob and Blenda. Stories that they never knew happened behind the scenes. We had an idea van, which was the van that delivered all of our product locally, and it was in some disrepair, yet we did not want to spend any money to have it fixed. So we had the front seat, the driver's seat, snap off because it had rusted through, and we ended up putting a folding chair into the driver's seat and bungee cording it into place so that the driver could continue to drive the van. I'm sure that probably wouldn't fly today around here, but it was actually quite comical back in the day.
I started with the company in July of 1985, and I was hired on as a sales representative. Things that haven't changed, Bob Onoveris for one. He's still that great guy that brings a room to life and gets people motivated and going, and just hearing his voice is something that gives you enthusiasm about what you're doing. What I'd like to say to the Onoveris family is congratulations. It couldn't happen to a better group of people. They're an inspiration to all walks of life here in the Quad City community and actually throughout the country when it comes to the things that they have done and achieved.
I started in September of 1994, and I started as customer service rep. Well, Group O's changed a lot over the years, just size-wise for one, but even just, the way we do things. When I started here, everything was very manual. There wasn't a lot of technology. I mean, the internet was really just starting when I started here, and we didn't even have email.
Bob, for me, the thing he's most famous for is that there's a line he always used to say, "Do me a favor." When there was a time when I reported to him, he was actually very much a part of the office day-to-day business, and his famous line was, "Do me a favor, go sell something." One of the things that I hope that they will remember is giving me a key to the business, and that means a lot for a guy who was hired here and wasn't the most upstanding individual. To give them a key to your business is a pretty nice thing. Great memory.
I started with Group O. Actually, I started with Bi-State Packaging, March of 1980, and I was the inventory clerk. Our first business system that was purchased in 1984. Blenda bought this wonderful system that allowed us to process payroll. I want to congratulate Bob and Blenda on their 40 years of success and thank them for the opportunities. Belinda always joked that it wasn't an official Bi-State Packaging meeting until Kim cried. So this one's official.
Congratulations, Mom. Congratulations, Dad, on 40 years of Bi-State Packaging, R&O Specialties, Grupo Direct, and Grupo. I can't even begin to tell you how proud I am and how happy I've been to be a part of this. When you told me 40 years ago, 30 years ago, that you wanted me to come and work for you, Dad, as a military defense, starting a military defense packaging company, I didn't know what we would do. And of course we didn't do that, we just kept on Bi-State Packaging, and oh my gosh.
Couldn't have grown up with a better family, and Mom being here the whole time, taking care of the money and making sure that we got paid on time, the company got paid on time, doing all those things that at the time you were doing it, I didn't really realize what that meant to a small business. But now being in the role that I am now, I can completely appreciate it, and what a gamble that it was that you took with 2 kids and really no guarantees of anything, to quit your job and to start this business, and with a dream and just and some hard work. So I love you for it, and I just can't thank you enough for all the opportunities and what you've done for this family.
It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Geez, do me a favor and sell something.
Do me a favor today and sell something.
Do me a favor and go sell something.
Do me a favor, go sell something.
Do me a favor and go sell something.
Do me a favor, go sell something.
Do me a favor and sell something.
I hope you had the time of your life.